I don't want to minimise this issue, obviously, because we do hundreds of millions of dollars worth of agricultural business every year with Russia. But let's be very clear about this. Russia has been a bully. Russia is a big country trying to bully a small country. Right at this moment, Russian forces are massing on the border with Ukraine. If there is any movement by Russian forces across the border, it won't be a humanitarian mission, it will be an invasion. It will be an invasion. And I say to President Putin that if he wants to be regarded as a world leader, as opposed to becoming an international outcast, hold your forces back. Stay behind the border. Let the business of Ukraine be sorted out by Ukrainians.
Apart from calling him a bully, though, shouldn't we be doing a little bit more to put pressure on him? Shouldn't we be joining the harsher sanctions, for instance, that the United States and Europe have put in place?
And I want to say very clearly that we are working towards stronger sanctions. We have sanctions in place. I didn't want to change the level of our sanctions while we had personnel on the ground within 20 or 30 kilometres of the Russian border. But now that our personnel have withdrawn from the site, now that our personnel are in the process of returning to the Netherlands after largely completing Operation Bring Them Home, certainly you will find increased sanctions by Australia. The way to avoid increased sanctions is for Russia to call off what appears to be in preparation, for Russia to respect the independence of Ukraine, to stop interfering in the affairs of Ukraine, to stop supporting separatists in Ukraine, to stop arming separatists in Ukraine, because we have all seen the tragic consequences of what happens when separatists are given access to sophisticated weapons. 298 innocent people are dead. 38 people who called Australia home are dead because of Russian-supplied sophisticated weaponry that these rebels were incapable of using.
What do you think of the fact that this announcement came just as we were in a day of national mourning? Do you think it says anything about Putin and his regime?
Well, I hope very much that President Putin will step back from the brink because any attempt by Russia to move its forces across the border would not be a humanitarian mission. It would be an invasion. It would be utterly unacceptable and certainly it will spark a response. It will spark a response, including a response from Australia.
Will the government assist farmers and other exporters who get caught in the middle by this?
I don't want to underestimate, as I said, the impact of what Russia is proposing, but I also want to see it in proportion to keep it in perspective. And while there are a few hundreds of millions of Australian agricultural exports to Russia, in the great scheme of Australia's agricultural exports, these are relatively small amounts.
But what do you think of Barnaby Joyce's idea of asking Indonesia to increase their imports of Australian produce to kind of help our local industry?
Well, we're always trying to increase our exports of local produce, and luckily, thanks to the good work of Barnaby and others, the live cattle trade with Indonesia is in very, very good shape again after it was almost destroyed by the folly of the former government.